As always, please retry the question before watching the video. There are only two things you need to know to be able to answer this question. If you don't know the answer to either of them, please add them to your cheat sheet, master them, and go back 5 before continuing in the video. What must come before a colon? What must come before a colon? An independent clause. An independent clause. There are exceptions to that, but that is the rule. What do we know about interruptions? They need to be set off with commas. They are one of the 9 exceptions of when we need punctuation in the middle of a clause. Okay, it's an interruption. With those in mind, let's go ahead and take a look at number 4. So this one, the history of Chinatown, looked especially bright. And so first thing we're going to notice here is answer F has all kinds of things wrong with it. So first, where that comma is placed, it just makes this an introductory phrase, but then it removes the subject, and there is no independent clause in answer F, okay? So answer F, there's no independent clause in that sentence, and if we are going to have that comma after the history of Chinatown, we also need it before the history of Chinatown because it's setting that part off, or it's trying to set that part off as an interruption. So all kinds of things. Hopefully you can recognize that answer F is wrong. If not, please send a question to your coach so that you can get clear on all things pertaining to F. Answer G, a colon must have an independent clause before it. So the one is not an independent clause. Therefore, that is breaking the colon rule. Answer H, everything looks perfect. The history of Chinatown is an interruption, so it needs to have punctuation around it, and almost all titles, but this one especially. If you can remove it and the clause still works perfectly. This one looked especially bright today, so we can remove it and the clause is still perfect. Therefore, you know that it's fine as a parenthetical, and so it needs to have the commas around it. And then answer J does not have any commas, but this needs to have commas because we have an interruption. Interruptions are one of the 9 exceptions when we must have punctuation in the middle of a clause. And it's okay if you can't recognize that yet, that this is an interruption. It just takes practice. And where you practice that is on the mastery. So go on, continue doing the remaining Clause 1 questions after you obviously add this question to your worksheet, if this all made sense. And then if this is your final Clause 1 question, go ahead and do 10 questions correct in a row on the Clause 1 mastery before coming back and starting on the next category.